I'd like to now introduce John Sweeting from ARIN. John will be giving us an update on all the what's happening with ARIN and all the new things they're putting together. John comes from us from Chantilly, Virginia, where he resides, and he'll hopefully do a fine job before we get to lunch.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Steve. So I'm John Sweeting. I'm Chief Experience Officer for ARIN. It's everyone, well, maybe everybody doesn't know, but we have some strange times going on. ARIN was actually named in a couple of executive orders by the outgoing administration. And although most of the executive orders that administration put out were rescinded, the two that ARIN's named in were not rescinded. So there's that. And it's basically just telling some federal agencies that they have to put their resources under agreement and then within like 90 days, and that they need to have ROAs on them within like 120 days. So I don't have that in the slides here, but I'll get into what we're gonna cover. Okay, so where can you find us here at NANOG 93? We're a Diamond sponsor, so we have our room over 704, our sponsor room. We have a customer service desk out here in the showcase in the general session foyer. You can find us at the meals, socials, sessions. So we're all over. We have several people here to help you with anything you need from ARIN. ARIN membership today stands at 26,041. Of those, 24,377 are service members. We have 1,664 general members. The difference being general members are service members that have actually said, hey, I want to participate in the governance of ARIN. I want to vote in your elections, and therefore I want to be a general member. So that's, they're the ones, our voting members is our general members, and that's really the difference. Our 2024 election results, you can see the names there. I won't read through them. We actually have one of our new advisory council members here, Bill Herring, who's sitting over there. He'll be here all week, so if you have some policy ideas you want to talk to him about, find him. He'll be here all week. Speaking of policy, our policy update, we have 6 draft policies going on right now. We have no recommended draft policies at the time. So for any of these 6 to be considered adoptable, at our April meeting, the AC, the Advisory Council, would have to move them forward to recommended draft in the next month or so. So I won't read through all of them, but most of them are probably pretty interesting to network operators. These 4 policies are pending implementation. They've gone all the way through recommended stage, last call, and adopted by the board. We'll be implementing them within the next probably 30 days. Okay, Internet Number Resource Update, IPv6 allocations per year. As you can see, it's pretty steady, although we did get a bump this past year, and that was really based on our board asked us to do a lot more outreach and bring V6, push V6 really hard at the outreach events. So we do roughly 40 outreach events a year. And because we talked to a lot of WISPAs and the WISP and FISPAs and Internet 2 customers, we had a surge in the number of IPv6/40s that were allocated this past year, an 80% increase, which drove, of course, the volume of IPv6 allocations. IPv4 waiting list requests filled. So the story here, I guess the wait list, it's functioning as it was designed. I was actually on the advisory council, we did it, and it was basically, we put the wait list policy in place so that we would have a way to give out space that came back to ARIN after we were depleted. So that's basically what that wait list is for, and it's been working along. It goes up and down. You see we had a big give out in Q1. We fulfilled 200 requests there. Then in the third quarter, we did 117. People are like, well, where do those resources come from? A lot of different places, mostly from being revoked due to non-payment. but there's others. There's some IP addresses that we have reserved in a reserve hold status because they're actually still being routed, or they're on block lists and other things that we're working to clean up. And we do have a lot of legacy space that at times something shakes out of there and becomes available to give out on the wait list. Current IPv4 reserve pools, 4.4 is critical infrastructure, and 4.4 basically is the section of the Number Resource Policy Manual. So section 4.4 is critical infrastructure and covers that special pool. 4.10 is IPv6 transition, where you can get IPv4 to help you with your IPv6 transition. That also could have been a reason for the uptick in the number of IPv6 allocations. The fact that there was IPv4 available for people to use, actually newcomers into the space that wanted to provide services. And so they built an infrastructure with IPv6, but they were able to get IPv4 to provide connectivity into those services through some kind of translation. And yeah, so that's where we are. As you can see, there's a lot of space left in the 4.10 pool. It would take a long time. We do have a policy that says we have to replenish these pools when they get down to a 3-year level, which we monitor and watch for. Current transfer statistics, we're not showing the number of transfers itself. We're actually showing the number of /16 equivalents transferred. There was a really big jump in 8.2 transfers. 8.2s are mergers, acquisitions, and reorganizations. And so last year in 2024, there was a few really large ISPs that had made acquisitions along the years and had never bothered to move all that space under their current company organization with ARIN, and a lot of that happened last year. Don't know if that's, so it was easier to get it under an agreement and start doing RPKI, if it's maybe a preparatory stage for venturing out into the transfer market and maybe putting some of those resources that they finally have been able to clean up for grabs on the 8.3, the market transfer side. But we'll see next year, because if that blue bar transfers over to the orange bar next year, then we'll know that's what it was for. Current ASNs issued status, big jump in ASNs issued from ARIN. There's been a lot of different policies around ASNs through the RIR system. It seems like ARIN was the only one charging for ASNs for a long time, and then we reversed that, and we don't really charge for ASNs anymore. But the other RIRs have had policy and fees changes where they now do charge for ASNs. So I think a lot of that transitioned or helped with drive the current number of ASNs that we issued this year. Also, it's streamlined. It's pretty much, if you come to ARIN, you don't have an ASN, and you say you need an ASN for building a network or doing BGP or whatever you want to use it for, your first ASN, we're not going to ask a whole lot of questions. You're just going to be able to get it. Okay, RPKI update. Brad's somewhere in the room. Everybody should know Brad Gorman. He's our Director of Customer Technical Services and also the product owner for our RPKI Routing Security Services. Not a lot here. It's steadily going up. We've got 6,000 orgs that are signed up for RPKI now, and that's broke down with 97% of them are hosted. And hosted just means they use all our resources to do it. Delegated means they use they have their own CA, and they have their own repository. But we also there's a hybrid where if you're delegated, you can use ARIN's repository for publication services. So RPKI services that were completed and added in 2024. We did a internet route registry RPKI integration. So you have the option of when you go into ARIN Online and you're doing your ROAs, that you have corresponding route objects in the IRR generated at the same time. We also did some development for an auto manager sync up tool, which was simply, it's a tool that you can use when you go in. You can opt to use that tool and have it generate a bunch of route objects for any ROAs that you had previously generated but didn't have any route objects for. And there was an updated API with increased feature parity with the web user interface to make it easier for using the API rather than having to go log in and use our ARIN Online web interface. Services are in the pipeline. RPKI routing intelligence, which is strictly going to be when you go in and you log in, you can see, we'll be showing you the actual global route table so you can see what your routes look like and make sure that when you're doing your ROAs that they match what you're actually announcing. That's coming soon. If not March, then our deployment right after that. We're also working hard on ASPA, waiting for it to come out of the IETF as a standard. And some more advanced features to make it easier to use the ARIN Online, which will then transfer over to the API. And we have a global number resource organization, RPKI working group, that's working to help make the services across all the RIRs look similar, feel similar, and make it easier for the users. Programs, outreach, and other updates. Number of legacy RSAs signed. So you can see that RSAs in 2023, we signed a whole bunch of people came in and signed them. In Q1 of 2024, those were tickets that were open in 2023, and they were able to still sign for the LRSA. And actually, as you can see, for the Q3, Q4, those were just people that had tickets in 2023 and were able to complete them last year. All the other tickets that didn't get completed were closed and it's no longer available. Here's a list of our current qualified facilitators. So this is just a list of facilitators that went through the process with ARIN. We vetted them. We do a lot of background investigations on them. They have to sign agreements with us as to how they're going to take care of their customers, and they have to they have to have a certain level of insurance. They have to do background checks on their employees as well. And that's the list we have. There's 9. There's been 9 since the beginning, sort of, and they're all really good. And it's really helped with the transfers getting through ARIN in a timely manner. I think we're down to like 17 days mean time for all the transfers that we do, from like 45 days. ARIN Community Grant Program. If you're doing something for the good of the internet, you're in the ARIN region and you need some funding, look into that, please. Outreach for the Q1. Here's the places we've either been or are going to be. We'll be at FISPA, CanWISP, ARIN on the Road, and Raleigh, North Carolina in March. And then we'll be at WISP America at the end of March. ARIN 55, which is going to be in Hollis, Charlotte. Registration is open, and it's in April. And that's it. Any questions? All right.
John, thanks for that update.
Thank you.
It's always great to have you guys coming into the update. All the details just tremendous. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. You too.